FienXSol is a boundary-pushing songwriter, MC and producer hailing from Queens, New York, who's with us here. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Good to have you. Good. Thanks for having me, actually.
Yeah. So your music is, of course, a fusion of hip-hop, rock, pop and electronic elements. So
Right.
what inspired you to blend these different genres together?
Basically, music inspired me. Like, I listen to all kinds of music, all different genres, actually. And I started off just doing hip hop, to be honest with you. But then I kind of branched out into, experimenting with other kinds of music. So, I would say music in general, just the kind of music that I listen to and I grew up listening to. It was just a blend of a lot of different styles.
And growing up, you were exposed to a diverse range of musical styles, as you say. So how do you
Right.
think this multicultural background influenced your tastes and ultimately shape your kind of artistic identity?
Right. Like I said, it just being exposed to like different genres and just being open-minded about music. Cause like for example, like lately I've been listening to some country music, which I never did before. And I'm enjoying that genre. So like it's just being open-minded about listening to new music and new styles and just acquiring a taste, I guess, for it.
And was there a specific moment or experience that you realised that rap and rock were your pillars of support during your transition to life in New York?
Like I've always just listened to those genres like mainly like so when I was when I was a kid it would be like the hip hop scene, and I would also like definitely like the rock scene as well, and those two were like my main influences musically. And then like I said, just as you keep growing and you meet people or you start experiencing different things, all the kinds of music kind of like became like, I guess, a part of who I am.
And when you're working with such a diverse mix of styles, how do you fit in to those different genres but still maintain a unique and consistent sound?
Right. So usually my approach to music, like when me and my producer, his name is Tony Lewis, Tony T. Lewis, shout outs to him. He's from Jersey, high voltage music. So we just honestly, it's just a matter of just putting our ideas together. Usually we just sit down and we're like, okay, he's like, Phoenix, what kind of music or what kind of song you're into or you want to write? And I will be like, let's do like a hip hop song, or like let's do a dance song. So we just sit there and then we start with drums. So he's like, okay, let's build the drums first. So we start creating the drum pattern and all that stuff, and then we just keep adding to it like guitar, bass, keys, because he plays all kinds of different instruments, and I kind of have a lot of different ideas and melodies in my head. So I'll just kind of direct him, and then he'll start like pulling out his guitar or playing something in the keyboard, and then we just start building from that.
In a world that's full of so many different musical trends, how do you ensure that your music stands out?
I think it already does. It already does in that sense, because it kind of like embraces a lot of different styles. But I guess there's great music out there. There's also just a lot of music that sounds the same. So I'm not really just trying to be different just to be different. I think it just happens that I'm different. And musically, the same thing. Like I said, just blending my influences makes my music stand out. Like whether it's like a blend of hip hop with a little bit of rock, or like a little bit of like like electronic with some hip hop. Like I'll always put hip hop in there just because that's my first love.
Yeah.
To me, hip hop will always be part of my music, but it'll just be company with different genres.
And you've said before, actually, that Walk This Way by Aerosmith and Run
Right.
DMC
Right.
played a pivotal role in sparking your interest to challenge musical norms. So
Right.
how was it that that song impacted your early musical aspirations?
Just hearing that combination of rap and rock from like two amazing bands just like made me say like, wow, like, like people accept this kind of like, this kind of music together, and
Yeah.
it's possible to make it sound great and to have mass appeal. So I think seeing that combination and seeing the possibilities of what could happen between rock and hip hop made me realize, whoa, like I mean, I love both styles already, I could definitely incorporate it into what I want to do in the future.
Of course, as well, you're not just kind of a normal musician, of course, you're a producer and DJ as well. So how did collecting records and practicing the art of DJing contribute to your growth as a musician overall?
That was a major growth for me because like when I started collecting records, like I wanted to be a DJ just because I was, like I said, it was hip hop again. I loved the art form, and friends of mine who were in school with me, they were DJs themselves. So I would be like, hey, can you teach me like how do you do that and whatever. And so they were very nice. Like they embraced me, and they would take me to like the little shops in Queens where you would like go and dig for records, and they would be like, you have to get this and this and this. And I'll be like, what are these? Like I never heard of this stuff. They were like, that's the jazz record. This is like some old school da da da. So I was like, that was to me like that was school for me. Like I was learning about music. I could learn a lot about jazz records and like some of the old school like R&B stuff that I had never like really listened to. But while trying to become a DJ or wanting to be a DJ, it was more like a school for me. Like, okay, whoa, like I never heard of this jazz stuff, but I like it. So I get how a lot of the hip hop producers were digging in the crates, grabbing drums from like records or like, sampling like guitars from here. And it was incredible. So the whole process was just like a school for me. So that's when I wanted to become a DJ. I did DJ a little bit. I wouldn't say that I'm like a DJ because I did it for a while before. I kind of like don't do it anymore. But like I said, it was just for me. It was a thing of just trying to learn more about music and trying to be a DJ because that's what was like interested me at that time.
And your debut EP, Fly Me to the Lunar, was released in 2004 and it received great reviews. So what was the creative process behind that project?
So that is actually not a solo FienXSol project. At that time, I was part of a electronic, like an EDM drum and bass band. The name of the group was Swiss Modular, and it was pretty funny how I got introduced to them. It was through a friend of mine who wasn't even in the band but knew the band members, and she knew that I did music and that I was into rap, and she was like, they're looking for like somebody to come in and kind of like do some rap and be the MC, and it all kind of worked out. So I was with them for a while, and we released that EP in 2004, which was really great. It was pretty well accepted, and people in Brooklyn and Queens were I guess warming up to it, and they welcomed it, and it was a pretty good time for me. But like I said, it was my first time my feet got wet into like performing and being with a band. So it was great.
Well, you're currently working on your debut solo album. So what can you tell us about this project?
I have enough material to release an album right now. So I'm trying to figure out whether I want to keep releasing singles or do I want to just do an album already.
Yeah.
Speaking to, some people that I know in music, they're advising me that I should do singles for a little bit more. But eventually I think an album will be ideal just because it will be a compilation of a lot of the stuff that I already have released and haven't released. Because there's a lot of songs that I haven't released yet as singles. So that will be the next step, definitely an album.
And is there anything else coming up after that you're working on? Maybe some singles that you can tell us about? So
I already have about 2 or 3 songs that are already entirely written. I just have to like finish recording them and do videos for them because we do our own videos too with Tony, my producer. So we do the videos in-house as well. So this is all done within the same studio. So I have my next single that's coming up. It's called Carousel. It's a song. It's pretty personal. It's got a bit of a hip hop feel to it and a little bit of almost gospel, I want to say, because I incorporated some choir samples in that. It's out there. Like, I mean, I guess you could say it's like an alternative hip hop track, but it's already done. It's finished. That's going to be my next single. It should be out, released worldwide digitally in a couple of weeks. I got all my graphics done. The track is mixed and mastered. So We're just finalizing the video, and it will be released in about 2 weeks.
Excellent. And in the meantime, where are we able to find all your music that you've done so far and keep up to date with you?
Right. So I do have a website. It's FienXSol.com. And that's where you're going to find a lot of my music, some stuff that's not released, that is not on Spotify or anywhere out there. There's also merchandise there and just any updates as far as like any shows that are coming up. So it's FienXSol.com.
Excellent. Well, many thanks for talking to us today. It's been great having you here.
Thank you, Toby. It was great being here, and appreciate the time.